Hello. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So last time we solved the mystery of Kazuma's death. It was so tragic. But we never actually saw Darka, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, today we are going to start a new case. And I've got no idea what it's going to be. Episode 3. The Adventure of the Runaway Room. What?
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter.
Bitter winter.
Murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, "I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a
to
long
what?
concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together."
Oh. Oh, it's so sad.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Wow, that
Railway
accent.
Station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
And look at all the steam locomotives.
Locomotives.
This
Wait.
country is incredible.
Are they? Purposefully speaking with a weird accent?
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Wait, this guy is helping? Who's this guy?
Students from abroad.
It's just a guy who was sitting on the stairs.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
London. Wait, that's the Eiffel Tower. It's not in London. "18th of February, 9:21 a.m. British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office." Lord Chief Justice. That's the title. What an incredible place! Oh, it's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. Looks like a fortress. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this has quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? A far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. Well, it's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction material. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. The Lord Chief Justice? We had instructions to report here at this time if circumstances were different. We were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuma can't. No. So instead, we are here in a different capacity. As envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. So, we'd have to return to Japan? Or if we want to remain here in Great Britain? I have to take Takazuma's place as a law student selected for the study tour. Yes, which means you need to requisite qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for. Here, in Great Britain, it is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. He appoints all the lawyers? Ah. So, that's the second reason why we're here. To have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. Well, I hope I'm up to scratch. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. What's that? Oh, exactly my words. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. It seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes and 47 seconds late. My apologies. 1 hour? We haven't been waiting an hour. Oh, no, not mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I am Mel Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Naruto-san. Don't be a mouse. What? Is she reading my mind? Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Ah, yes, well, thank you. He looks kinda suspicious, this man. London. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, how... I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. Oh, it's simply splendid, isn't it, Naruhodo-san? Oh. We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, even cables supplying electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh yes, Astounded is the word. Oh, thanks for serving me there, Sato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we'll be hosting here in London. Great exhibition? Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set in our great empire. Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. I can't say I really like this guy. Lord Chief Justice? I think you were expecting a student of law for this study tour, weren't you? Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. Oh, that's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news? Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means the study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? Oh, it's about the study tour. Naruhodo-san here. Well, Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal. Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, this is it then, the moment of truth. I like the way the characters move to speak to one another. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead? Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean. Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least that is what I've been led to understand. Well, the thing is, really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. Naruhodo-san! I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there's someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, it's... there's no one! It's Susato-san! It's me. Is it me? It's me! I can do it! Is that so? I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but... no qualifications, you say? And yet you still claim to be a lawyer? I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma to help me, and I was accused of the closing of the details. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Buria. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, but you must also complete several years of training. Well, I realize it's far too short for a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan. Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on this study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please. Oh hey, missus. How you doing tonight? 31 seconds. Sorry, what? Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, 31 seconds long. You want to the next? Yes, it's the next case. It's a weird case that happens in a carriage, apparently. But now we are meeting with the head justice of Great Britain, this guy, and we're asking him to make me a lawyer. But well, he doesn't look very convinced. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer. Oh, thanks. So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment. What? But let me ask you one thing first, sir. Yeah? You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path? Are we though? Well, yeah, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did this fraction just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well then. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? What is it? So, what form will the test take? Exactly. Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Oh, is that a trick question? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. What? Your timing is perfect, in fact. There's an up trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet. So, this will be welcome news. Today? Straight away? If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations? Well, you know, at least it's not us that's accused of murder this time. It's an improvement. Oh, well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. A murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. Oh, that's easy to say. You don't know me. But I should mention, just in case. If the defendant is found guilty, he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Here, in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows, without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short sea-based introduction to British law. Presume? We can't possibly agree to such a test. We'd be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? I don't like this guy. There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. So the defendant may live or die, depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, he'll be hanged. Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. Well, he has a point. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. Oh dear. It is definitely a test of our will. He's tasting my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be, Mr. Naruhodo? What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? Can we say I won't do it? I wonder what happens if you don't do it. Let's try that. I'm curious about that. Okay, I won't do it. I'm not crazy. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision making needs to work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. Ah. So, it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry, what? You have noble intentions, but lacks the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire a ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. What? Yes, Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. Naruhodo-san. I'm sorry, Mr. Sato-san, but what could I do? Oh, it's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. Wait, we're not supposed to do that? Then what happens if we say yes? I'm getting curious now. I want to know. I think we don't say yes either. I'll do it. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is I can't do it. I can't get the words out. It's the same. What? I've been fooled. I'm just a toy. 15 seconds. Oh, you're just again. Oh, what? So, was expected, is it? Sorry, what? You have no noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. Test is cancelled. Thank you for shopping by. Go and acquire a ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. No. Oh, yes, Roxanne. Thank you for offering me a chance. No, that's not. Oh, sorry, Miss Sato-san. But what could I do? Oh, it's alright, I understand. Oh, you do? Oh, it's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Mr. Sato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating this his one and only chance as a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that. I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. But that's awful. But that is the truth. Why does this have to be like this? Might not be so bad after all. Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances, and I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh, damn, he's a good lawyer. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves. He's gone. The Old Bailey? If we're going to do this, Naruhodo-san, we must leave at once. What to do? Sato-san, can I just ask you something? Oh no. Careful. From this position, I can perform a Sato takedown in an instant. I know. Naruhodo-san, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts immediately. If I need to throw you, I will. You could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, it had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. Okay, we're gonna go. Well, those rooms are weirdly similar to the ones we know. 18th of February, 9:45 a.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. Wait, we only spent 5 minutes coming here? I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Oh, did you hear what I said to the driver when he climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver. And there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of our favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. Yes. I suppose there's that. Oh, anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here. But there's no sign of him at all. There's nobody here. So, this is the Old Bailey? Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Naruhodo-san? I'm feeling tense. That's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Oh yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madam. Sir? Who is this man? What are you doing? Following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Wait, what? Sorry, what? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the East, are yous? We are from Japan? Yes? Ah, Japan is it? Right, say no more. So, how much do you need? No, we're just here because, No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all wanting a strange farewell end. Well, actually, I haven't found a place to stay yet, no. Ah, 'tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas and say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Sato-san, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is... It's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? It is nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Ah! That hit me in the eye! Not the eye! And don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh. To be honest, it's a little embarrassing. The trial is about to begin, you see. If me could stop here, I'll be in the dark. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is... don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see... the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm not sure this is a guy to make things up, really. Oh, I'm terribly sorry to have to ask, but... does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Brother Blazes, you do use? Do you not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see? I see. I suppose it's altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, park? What? What? It's called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles. That is my vision of London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded couldn't do for the city. And his square hole people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. 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 Really extraordinary. But now they go to say I'm a good for nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out. Naruto-san. Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Oh, good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We are law students on a study tour from Japan, you see? So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'd do our best. What will I have to say, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up next there next to me, haven't I? Well, yeah, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry, what? I know what you're thinking. This gentle of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, while the Blazes can't here hire the finest lawyer in all of England. Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well... Not at all, not at all. Not at all, although it is just strange, to be honest. No. Why don't you have a lawyer, I mean? Hmm. That would be the fault of the Reaper. The Reaper? Sorry, what? Did you just say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey. Lord Barak Van Zeeks is the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeeks stand for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. Huh. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation where there's no one willing to stand in defense against a fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barak Van Zeeks? He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madame. He's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way to the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? Oh, that would be me. Oh, this time. Well done, fella. Don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed her face here. I made up me mind, so I had. Oh, sorry, what? I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? Well, we did that before, so maybe it would have worked. But then you made an appearance, and student of law, will you know? There's no accident. Gonna share you that. This fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Oh, Naruto-san. The man has no one. He'd have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes, something that Kazuma would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense. What are you doing? If you're late to the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. Oh dear, we gotta go. I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh dear. They kinda have a flair for the dramatic, those guys. 18th of February, 10 AM. The Old Bailey courtroom. Wait, there's a panel of juries? So this is the highest court in Great Britain. The Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different from to the Supreme Court in Japan. Ah, it feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Oh, whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. Oh, may I say something? Naruhodo-san. Oh, yes? What? 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 Oh, your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, I just can't help it. Wait. The prosecutor is a vampire?
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus MacGilded. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is fully prepared. Oh, that must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Man, he's a vampire.
Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English?
Oh, yes, of course, sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me. Nipponese. What? Nipponese? Huh? They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. A cold shiver ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes.
Now, Mr. Gilded. Mr. Mike Gilded.
Oh, yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
They're making a big deal out of this, but well, I mean, his life is in the balance, so yeah. As I was saying, my lord, it is a great thing to give opportunities to young. Even if the prize is stolen from some little island up in the Far East. Pretty sure the island isn't that smaller than England. It's not a British way to ignore the danger to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance. Is it not the British way? I'd like to think that acts of chivalry to the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mike. What a fine gentleman. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to government the other day? Mother, please make me go and play. Oh, it seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGildet. Oh, that's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGildet, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, my lord. If the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
At the manor, his lordship always says he should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree.
Ha! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they never set eyes on me. I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. I must finish these mitts for my grandson. Ah, Naruto-san, those people are.
The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet.
That's right. I've only ever read about it. But here, in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So, the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? Oh, that I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Oh yes.
Prosecutor Van Zeeks.
My lord.
It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame.
Oh, I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity.
So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstances of which the court should be aware?
I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So, the reef has been out of action for 5 years? Why did you have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Naruto-san.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. That's kind of weird, because if it's a very simple case, why would he feel that he has to come back? He's not saying the whole truth there. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry, thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The brick he fired was said to be almost indestructible.
Wait, isn't that the knife the other guy is playing with? The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service of the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, Counsel. I shall accept that the photograph as evidence.
The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. The photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. Gloves? Is this the other Simpson trial? If the gloves don't fit, you must acquit. And these are...
Good Lord! Is that blood, Counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGilder's gloves had blood on them?
Yes, so I will accept this as evidence as well.
The defendant's leather gloves had been entered into the court record. Oh, how did I get into this? I'm back into a corner before I even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside this vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of these passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing.
Mr. McGilded.
To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm encouraged, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming you have been asleep?
'Tis the motion it carries, my lord. Lilton, so it is when I opened my eyes again. It was a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life.
Oh, the guy... No, he's supposed to be... Scottish.
No excuse. What a good-hearted soul when you rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach. I wasn't about to start worrying about my gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So, the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Oh, unfortunately. That statement of the driver is only the beginning. What? That's not all of it? There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed. Fatally stabbed. She's furiously typing. Order! 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 When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Thank you, Counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command.
Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Wait, who are those guys?
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
Oh, my name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End. Oh,
man, it's giving me... I'm feeling cold now.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
Oh, my name's First. Lady First. I make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts.
3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
Quite right.
Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir.
Oh, very well then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please.
So many voices. Man, that's harder than the first ones.
Each of you will take the court precisely what you saw.
What the witnesses saw.
Oh, it was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus.
Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
Oh, that's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. I couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too.
An ambiguous testimony, I must say.
I Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Oh, yes, Counsel.
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. Oh dear.
How quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nation was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? What? Tell me, my Nipponese friend. I don't like when he calls us that. Have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is.
What? What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much.
Yes?
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today, in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff! Bring forth the stricken omnibus.
It's not that big. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. Four passengers seated inside in the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. The rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus.
Is that so?
And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, a skylight? Oh!
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Well, Gonzo, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Oh, the omnibus has been entered into the court record. Wow. Oh, I can't believe it. It's entered a crime scene. Entered as evidence. Yes. Great Britain is simply extraordinary. Oh, I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's there. I think we should do that right now. Court record. We need to look at everything. An armband I inherited from Kazuma. It identifies the wearer as the defense lawyer throughout the Empire of Japan. Really? A report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner. It gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. Name: thrice fired Mason. Male. Age 54. Occupation: brickmaker. Time and cause of death: 15th of February. The day before my birthday. 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. Stabbed once in the abdomen with a knife whilst journeying in an omnibus. Died due to internal hemorrhaging resulting from the trauma. Okay. Is there anything to look at here? What's that? A photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partly obscured from view by an old crooked hat. Crooked hat? Crooked hat? The leather gloves of the defendant was wearing at the time of the incident. There is a blood stain on the right glove. This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London. Oh well, nothing will come of grumbling now. No, by the way, is Mr. Gilded right-handed? Oh, yes, I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier. Ah, pity. If only he'd been left-handed. I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really. I don't think there's anything else in here. No, I don't think. Only the blood. There is only blood. Okay, the crime scene. The 8-seater omnibus that was the scene of the crime. There were passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night. Okay, so we have to check everything. The door. Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we? The scene of a murder. It's horrible. Oh dear. What is that? Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. 6 months. Month is from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. Oh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be freezing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event. It's kind of weird because I watched the anime Violet Evergarden, and they were building a tower like that as well. It's kind of a symbol of the industrial revolution era, I guess. But it's not in London. What is that? This seat has a handle, it seems. What's that? This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running. Oh, feeding tubes. Tools to repair the wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So, it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow the luggage, that's for sure. Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Okay. Oh, the window. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it? Oh yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck. And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin at least. What's that? Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibitions that's due to start. He's gonna say it's not the same thing. Oh, it's the same thing, okay. There's only the blood stain. That's blood that's soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously. Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Would you really stuff somebody in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder. Oh well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here. So perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight. Whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. I don't know. So, this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here. Oh, so people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so? But I can't imagine how cold you must feel. That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment? Perhaps that is a real price you pay to stay out late. No, it's the same. Okay. We know. Can we look at the window? I don't think we can. Skylight. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure. Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see to see quite clearly. That's not good for us. Okay, I think that's everything. Is there anything under? I don't think we can look under. No. Phoenix Wright Omnibus? What? What? Okay, we've seen everything.
Let us continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
Pray, don't expect this Nipponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. All right. My first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Irinasuke. Focus. There we go. What the witnesses saw. Oh, it was the last bit of the evening, so... Oh, I had a few customers, I remember it well. Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, was it? Wasn't it? Oh, yes. Sir, that's right. Yes, I was so cold I was. It was freezing, in fact. They don't look very cold, those guys. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Oh, yes, that's right. It's, not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, of course. Oh, no. Oh, man, he's so cold.
But there were no other passengers when the incident took place. No one alighted, for example. Oh, you're quite right in with that, sir. No other passengers like that now. None.
So nobody fled the scene of the crime then?
Oh, I have to say, the bus insists on its running. It does every evening, the last bus of the day. But I do wonder some days if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, sorry to say.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, you see. Oh, yes, I'll spend that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage. That's right. When you sit up at the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. The 2 of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? My gilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. I really wish I was. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right to his guts.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened? It happened? Didn't I already testify to that? Arthur Dinkham, hard-working city bankers, not considered trustworthy these days. Well, you know, bankers are not... Well, okay. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Oh, this is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail. Load. Juror number 3. What's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the sticking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. He doesn't look that poor, this man. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. No! There's no point wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter, anyway.
Well, that is precisely what I was about to say.
What? No!
As a foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
What? What's with those guys? What is happening here? It's like a reality TV show. They have to vote dramatically. Oh, let me see. Ah, yes. It seems that's how the members of the jury gives their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the grey scale of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So, if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. Oh no, now I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Oh, this is a nightmare. That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed. I did. I couldn't help it.
Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say? And you were sitting up on the roof deck, were you? Oh, yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little gent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed.
I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out of his belly. That huge great knife.
What a grim sight indeed.
Ah, that didn't help me at all. No, don't talk. The jury looks like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before. Oh, that appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGildy is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Mr. First. Oh yeah, yes sir. Is this the knife you saw? Good grief. Yes, that's it. The very one, sir. Is that? Yes, counsel. This is a blade that was driven into the victim's belly with like a stake through the heart.
It's a blade of considerable size, counsel.
It is, and furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar. Oh, please, no. M for Magnus, perhaps? Or McGilded, possibly? Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
But there are M's everywhere. Oh yes, like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused.
Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
The murder weapon has been entered into the court record. We have to... my lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Oh dear. Oh dear, what are you gonna do?
Ah, juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGillit is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However... No, don't do it! Those of us in service know we must accept hard truth. Wait, what are you about? Dispose of the rubbish. No! What? No! I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. I have painstakingly typed every word I heard here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. What? What's going on here? Not again! That's 4 out of 6 jury members who've proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. Oh, we've had it! Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse. Oh, nevertheless.
What we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. Oh, I suppose we'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly. Oh, we mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... Alright. I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witness's statement again. We have the knife now. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my purse, and then I saw it too. We need to look at the court records. Wait. What exactly did you see? Wait. Court records! Where are you? A large knife that was found lodged into the victim's abdomen. The victim's abdomen. Its quality and fancy ornamentation suggests it must be quite valuable. Let's look at that. Wait, what is it? Oh, that part in the sheath. That part is a sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry, yes, I just don't really like blades. Oh, those don't seem like the word of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. That's not a blade. That's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Oh dear. It's blood stained. That looks like a lot of blood. That looks a lot like blood. Hi, it surely is blood. The victims. An English man's blood looked a lot like a Japanese man's blood. I wonder if there's something to learn here. Oh, did you think it wouldn't? Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust. Oh, yes, I do understand. Well, at least there's no jet lag. I think it's only the M to look at. And known it later M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilder's initial. Oh, and it's beautifully gilded too. Oh, it must be very valuable, I should think. Ah! What is it? Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W. This could change everything. A W? Yes, this is one of those, you know, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it. Turnabout? You don't say. I'm afraid I don't know at all. But what I'm sure of it is that this is an M. Oh, well, the tie was quickly squashed. Is this a W? I don't know. I don't really see it. Oh, we can't? We can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really see... Yeah. I don't think it's W. Sorry, man. Okay. What exactly did you see? Oh, well, sir. That would be the passenger, sir. Oh, yes. Collapsed on the floor. He was. By the passenger, obviously you are referring to the victim. Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And then the other passenger had a knife in his hand, like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
Oh, and then he plunged it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What? My lord, I wish to speak.
Yes, juror number 5. Do I take that? Do I take it that you too?
At the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But he's gonna vote anyway. But I've heard enough now. The horse has bolted, as they say. No, please. Just cheer up now, Silver Blaze. The finish is in sight. Oh, come on now. Can't we at least hear the testimonies? Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. Oh, you're too kind, sir.
Oh, this is too unkind, sir. Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Oh, there's only this nice granny now. Madam Juror number 6.
Oh, yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh yes, certainly I have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Oh well, dear. The thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of the day and sit on a nice bench. I get on with my knitting. Oh, there's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Parks, it's called.
Huh?
Oh, the gentleman donated it to the city, you know. To put a smile on Londoner's face, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. He's always doing wonderful things for the city. Oh, that's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. Oh, Mother, may we go to the McGilded Public Library later and borrow some more books?
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is? What kind of a man is he? The philanthropist, Magnus McGilded, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. So what? So what? But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls.
What's a Shylock, though?
What?
Storm the Crows.
McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He's a vulture that preys on the weak. On the weak.
Oh, I've never heard any mention of that before.
There's a heart on a thing, sweater. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So, has this thought not crossed your mind? Will a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own? What possible reason could this man have to make use of a public omnibus service?
You're not saying that
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus MacGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts.
Oh, good gracious.
The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus MacGilded.
Oh, I don't believe it.
What?
Susato-san. Oh, if I might hide something briefly. Susato-san. You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. MacGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim?
Wait, what? There's a Grim Reaper on his bottle. What? Brave, forgive the discourtesy of filing. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of filing my hallowed callous in a court of law. A filling.
Oh, there it is. Lord Van Zink's hallowed callous.
How can this be considered acceptable? But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
Huh? As a judicial assistant to defense, I am simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is a debtor ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. Monies? Monies? You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Kind of reminds me of Lucky Number 11.
Oh.
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time.
A marvelous toast, counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
The debt ledger has been entered into the court record. We have to look at that. Oh, yes. 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum. Oh, we have to look at that. Quickly. Open it. Open it. Oh, this portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry. Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside? Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, is it? Apart from our great detective friend, perhaps. Actually, I wonder. I assure you we will not find Mr. Shaw's name inside. Well, let's see what we find then. Oh, blah, look at this. We're gonna have to... Oh, sorry. Stop, because, man, it's getting late. Oh gosh, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it? Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off. Oh, goodness. What is it? Oh, look at this. Do you see the name here? Bruce Fairplay? Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually. Bruce Fairplay, the witness testifying at this very moment. Oh, yes. Of course, the banker. Where is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? And look, the repayment debt is fast approaching. Oh, it's possible this is just a coincidence, of course, but this could be very useful information. The detail of the debtor's ledger have been updated in the court records. Among the defendant list of debtors is Bruce Fairplay, who would have been due to repay his loan immediately. But what about the others? What about the others? Can we find the others? Oh, okay, it's the same guy. We can't... that's only one, okay. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense. Well, it would seem I've had the walls pulled over my eyes. No, regrettably, madam. That is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little park too. What a scoundrel! No, don't do it, Grandma. Still, maybe it's all for the best. Oh, wait a minute. Let's think about this for a little. I don't stand for nonsense. No! That was it. The last juror's decision. Ah, according to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. Ah, the final verdict. It's over then. Oh. I like when she does that. Oh, there's a footnote though. A footnote? However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the law of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Can we say it then?
Objection!
Sato-san, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your encyclopedia of British law. However, the defense? What did it say next? Oh yes, of course. One moment. When all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Wait, what? What does that mean? A summation examination?
Objection!
A summation examination? From which century has that tome you have been... From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Ah! Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Anybody on text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck. Oh. What even is it, Mr. Sato? Oh, Sato-san. This so-called summation examination. Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nepalese. Oh, that dude. I really want to slap his face when he says that. Alright, Mr. Naruhodo-san. I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, you would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change the leaning and reverse the decision. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse the decisions?
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefits, really, so it rather fell out of use.
Oh, I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. Oh, still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. Oh, what do you think, Naruhodo-san? Well, we have to try summation examination. Our last possible option. We assert our right to carry it out, or admit defeat. We do want the right to do it. Assert our rights. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examination are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Objection!
But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial.
The defense petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
This is madness.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready?
Eh? Well, I'm not.
There was no mention of this in the letter I received, you say, so... All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what ground they have reached their decisions.
On what grounds?
You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Oh, well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot. This is most irregular. Imagine what's made of this before. I don't really hold by all this justifying luck. She's not going to say anything, is she? That seems to have thrown the jurors off. Oh, it seems none of them have experienced this before. Alright then, a summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around.
So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the ground on which you find the defendant, Magnus MacGilded, guilty of this most serious crime.
And we're gonna save here. Because, you know. Whew. Man. I thought we were done here. But, well, you don't say. We are not. Ooh. Wait, he said I haven't saved. Oh, I hope I saved. Oh. Gotta check. Alright, well, oh man. This is gonna prove to be more difficult than I thought. Ooh, well, there sure are some. No, it's all right. We have saved. No, no. So many twists. So many twists. Ah, okay. Wait. We're probably going to be able to continue that tomorrow night. Yeah, I think. Oh, well. Anyway, thanks for being here tonight. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.